Some people are born Jersey, and some people are born making every conversation about themselves. You want to hear about my childhood? I transferred from a different school too. No? Okay. Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. I'm Rafael and I am here to review episode 10 of The Real Housewives reminiscing on flashbacks and doing nothing else on the show of New Jersey. So we start the episode off in Jackie's kitchen with her daughter and she's cooking dinner and I'm looking at it like it's just pasta with water. That's a cup noodle soup in my eyes. And then we head over to Jennifer's house. She's playing basketball with her boys and you know that they had to film this entire scene over a span of 3 days in order to get that shot of Jennifer actually making that basketball in the hoop. And even then they were probably like, you know what, Jennifer, it's already been 3 days of filming and you still haven't gotten the basketball in the hoop. We're just gonna edit it together. So can you get one of your sons to actually do it and then we'll just make it look like you did it? Because Jennifer's just like, oh, look, I did it. I'm like, yeah, sure. You did it in one shot. Sure, Jennifer. But all right. Then we head over to Teresa's house. And, you know, I don't even want to sound like a hater or anything because I'm all here for love, love, love. But, you know, I was just cringing a little bit when she was on the phone with Louis because she was just like, hey, Louis, hey, I love you so much. Hey, oh my God, I can't wait till we move in together. Yeah, I can't wait till you take all of my money. I mean, no, I'm going to be smart this time. But yeah, I can't wait because I completely trust you and I'm not going to get a prenup. But I love you so much. I can't wait to live with you together. And I'm just like, Teresa, just, I mean, again, I don't want to sound like a hater, but I'm just like, oh, Teresa, it's just, I don't know. It's just, I want to be happy for her. I really do. But it's just like that part of me in the back of my head is just like, I don't know, Teresa, keep your walls up a little bit because I don't know. With Louis, it's just like, I don't know. It's like you're playing Duck, Duck, Goose with him. But then we head over to Margaret's house. She's talking with her mother and she's telling her about this party that she's going to throw her for her 75th birthday, I believe. It's going to be Hungarian theme. And then she was also giving us a backstory of Margaret Sr. and how she immigrated over to America the first chance that she got once they opened up the borders during the uprising. And I can't help it, but as a Latino, compare the situation that Margaret Sr. went through when coming over here to America illegally versus what a Latino has to go through when coming to America illegally. Margaret Sr., she's looked at as the strong woman now who's built this successful life for her daughter, gave her a better life. She wanted more for her life versus a Latino. When they do the same exact thing that Margaret Sr. does, they're looked at as, oh, no, you came into our country illegally. What is wrong with you? No, you're taking up all our jobs. You need to go back to your country. What is good? No, you want a better life? Absolutely not. You need to go make a better life for yourself in your own country. It's just so interesting how the dynamics work because according to Margaret, you know, her mom is like the best thing in the world because she did that. But again, let it be a Latino and it's a whole different story. But that's just me. It must be nice. But regardless, Margaret, she's explaining to her about this party and how she's going to set everything up Hungarian style. And the mom, she's getting emotional because, you know, Margaret's just like, you know, you went through so much in your life to give me everything you have now. And then, of course, Margaret, she just could not wait to talk about Teresa. You know, in her head, she was just like, how can I make this party about Teresa? Let me see. I hope my mom asks me who's coming to the party. Is she gonna ask me? Let's see.
So who's coming to the party?
Teresa. Teresa's not coming to the party. She's not coming to the party at all. Like, Margaret, relax. Like, all your mom wanted to know was, is there going to be french fries available at the party? And then out of nowhere, she's just like, Teresa. Like, can we have a mother and daughter moment for 5 seconds without mentioning Teresa? And her excuse is, oh, I don't want Teresa to come to my party because I don't want any toxic energy there. And I'm just like, now, Margaret, you're the type to show up to somebody's birthday party with toxic in a birthday bag. So... So then we head over to Teresa's house and she's packing up everything in the house with Gia because they're going to move out and move in with Louis and his family. And next thing you know, Teresa gets a phone call and it's Melania, her other daughter. And Melania's just like, so Mom, are you going to pick me up? Because there's nobody here and practice is over. What's going on? Teresa, she starts freaking out and she's like, wait, what? What do you mean practice is over? I completely forgot I even had another daughter. I thought Gia was my only daughter. What do you mean? Who are you? Melania, who? And then she's like, wait, Gia, go pick her up quickly. Go get the car, go Uber, go get the Batman-mobile, whatever you need to go pick her up quickly. And Gia's just not having it. She is so annoyed that her mom is putting the responsibility on her. And rightfully so, because Gia, I mean, if we really look at it, she's almost kind of been like an adult in Teresa's life her entire life. And now she has to take care of her own daughters. And you know, this just goes to show that the dynamic of the family is going to change once they move in with Louis and his family, because Teresa is going to be so far up his ass that she's probably going to neglect her daughters and she's probably going to forget everything about them. And she's probably going to be focusing all her attention on Louis. And I don't know, I don't want to jump to conclusions, but again, this moment right here, that was not cute, Teresa. I mean, you completely forgot that your daughter her practice was over, and her excuse is, oh, I'm too busy like packing everything up for the house, blah, blah, blah. But you're not too busy to make these cringy phone calls to Louis and tell him how much you love him, right? So, I mean, you could take like 5 minutes out of your day to like go pick her up. So it's not really that difficult. Then we get a knock at the door, and it's Dolores. And side note, I never really paid too much attention to the two front doors to the main entrance of the house, that they don't even have doorknobs on them. They have these giant chicken wings or these giant angel wings attached to them, and you have to kind of grab them and pull them back, like pull the lever, crunk. I'm like, Teresa, this is what you like. I mean, if you like it, then I love it. But it's a little detail that I noticed. But Dolores, she goes in. Teresa invites her to the kitchen to talk about her mom and over coffee. Dolores, she's in distress. She looks stressed. And she's looking kind of down. And she's just like, well, I saw David at the hospital, when I went to go see my mom. And I just tried to avoid him as much as possible. But, I can really go for like a... I don't know, I could really go for like a cast trip or something. What do you think? And I'm just like, Dolores, please, just say that Andy texted you or that morning of, and he was just like, okay, we need to speed things up already because the season is coming to an end and we need a cast trip. Like, stop trying to overproduce. And she's just like, oh yeah, I could really go for a vacation right now. Like, please, we already know you're going to Nashville. Teresa also mentions that she didn't like Margaret's reply to her at the baseball game when Teresa tried to offer her fitness line, and Margaret was just like, no, I'm good, it's tacky, I'm good. And Teresa was just like, yeah, I don't get why she responded to me like that and why Tracy is so far up her ass. And then Dolores, she's just like, I was actually surprised that you added both of them in the group chat. And Teresa was just like, well, why would I exclude them? And then she brings up the party that Margaret is having for her mom, and she's like, you know what, I have nothing against Margaret Sr. And she doesn't, because on Instagram, from what I saw on Instagram, she actually sent I think a bouquet of flowers to her mom the night of this party for her birthday. So I'm sure she's good with her mom. It's just Margaret. It's just she's not okay with her. And if I was Margaret, I would be like, Mom, if I have a problem with the bitch, you have a problem with the bitch too. Like, no. Like, there's no loyalty here. Like, what's going on here? My own mother? Absolutely not. Those flowers were also burning them with the fitness line that she gave me in the forest. So then Teresa's just like, you know what? It's fine. Like, I don't even care. I don't even care if you're going. And then Dolores is just like, yeah, I got an invitation. Teresa goes on to say that she doesn't mind not being invited to the party because she doesn't want to be around Margaret, because Margaret is constantly talking down on her relationship with Louis and her boyfriend, and she doesn't want to be around that toxic energy. And I'm just like, isn't that the toxic pot calling the pot toxic? Or whatever the slogan is, because first Margaret is calling her toxic, and now this one is calling her toxic. Then we head over to Melissa's house, and she's getting a bunch of snacks ready in the kitchen with Josephine for their play date that they're gonna have with Cheater and Mistress, aka Tiki and Tracy. And when Tiki and Tracy showed up to the house, I was so shocked that they had a 4-year-old daughter. I mean, it's been like 10 episodes, and I have yet to hear either one of them mention anything about a daughter, or let alone put her on camera. I could be wrong. Did anybody know this? Because this is news to me. But regardless, they're in the kitchen, they come over, and then Antonia, she's walking by, and then Melissa, she makes this awkward, weird joke to her, and she's just like, oh, yeah, Antonia, she was in the pool the other day with her teenage friends, and they were in skimpy outfits, like skimpy little, bathing suits. And I'm just like, Melissa, stop, you're being creepy, like, cut it out. And then Antonia's just like, Mom, stop, you're not cool. Oh, why do we have to keep being on the show? I'm going to my room, I hate everything. And then Melissa's just like, oh, I think I could just breathe the wrong way and my daughter will be annoyed. And I'm just like, well, okay, so let's move on to the next scene. They sit down to talk. Tracy's telling her that she's concerned about her 4-year-old daughter going into kindergarten and how she's not really social and she wants to get her help. And, me having experience with working with children for many, many years and having concerned parents come up to me, ask me like, oh, is my child doing this? Is my child okay? Are they on the right path? I can see where Tracy's worries coming from. But I mean, I don't want to say what she's doing is too drastic because only she knows her daughter, but I would like to say just give it time, and maybe if those concerns are not going away and she doesn't see any type of behavior being changed, then so what? So be it. I don't really see anything that she's doing wrong necessarily. I mean, I guess maybe it could be a little bit too much because it's before kindergarten, but maybe all children, at least again from my experience, every children is not the same. So nobody's gonna be like, oh, hey, I want to talk to all of my friends, or I want 100 friends at like 3 years old. Nobody's like that, And again, I say because I've had experience with children who are just more to themselves. They're more closed off, but there's nothing technically, quote unquote, wrong with them, or at least what Tracy's trying to get down. And then Melissa, Melissa swore she went to Euphoria High because she's like, oh well, I'm going through a lot with Antonia right now. Antonia, she's kind of moping around. She's not really too happy about a lot. I understand because her ankle injury and stuff, it stopped her from cheering, and then she went over to a whole new school. I understand that, and then she made it about herself. I'm just like, Melissa, we were on the right track these last couple of episodes, and then you kind of lost me this episode because she was just like, yeah, Antonia, she's going through a lot. But anyway, Tracy, let's make it about me. So I went to Euphoria High. I had this friend named Rue, and I had this other friend, Maddie, and they were just such a bad influence on me, and I was just so rebellious. It was crazy. It was party, club, bus, club, another bus, plane. It was just crazy. It really was. And I don't want my daughter to end up that way. I really don't. And Tracy, I actually agree with what she said. She was just like, I just feel like this is just a phase right now. Melissa, I feel like eventually she'll grow out of it. She's just going through something right now because, again, something like her injury and moving schools, that is hard to, get accustomed to. So, of course, she's going to be moping around for a little bit. But, Melissa, let's focus on Antonia. Let's not make this about you. That's the issue here. Then we see Jackie fulfilling her promise that she made to her therapist on last week's episode when she told her that she was going to try to get ice cream with her children. So this week, she's actually getting ice cream with her sons and her daughter. They're sitting down. She has the ice cream in front of her. I'm looking at her like, okay, what's about to happen? Is she going to do it? And then she picks up the spoon. She takes a little chunk of it, and then she puts it in her mouth and she eats it. And I love seeing the encouragement from her son to her left. When he was just looking at her, he was just like, Mom, do you like it? Do you not like it? What's going on here? And she's just like, yeah, no, I do love it. And then she said that this is the first time that she has had ice cream in a very, very, very long time. And then I love that they were feeding off each other, literally. Like, she was feeding some of her ice cream to him, and he was feeding some of his ice cream to her. I mean, she wasn't taking big chunks of it or anything, but she was taking little bits of it. And I could at least appreciate that because, like she said, it's baby steps onto recovery. And I know that some people may say, oh, this is boring. Why are we watching this? Can we fast forward this? But this is a real issue that people go through on a daily basis. So I'm glad that Jackie is putting a light over this issue that many people probably don't feel comfortable talking about. And I believe Crystal from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, the trailer just dropped for the upcoming season, and I believe she's going through something similar to Jackie, so I'm curious to see how she deals with this. But again, I'm glad that they're highlighting this on this show because, again, it doesn't always have to be about drink throwing or cursing at each other or scandals or drama or who's cheating on who. It could also highlight serious subjects that, again, people go through on a daily basis. Then we circle back to Melissa and Antonia, and they're heading out to this gym to meet with their personal trainer because Antonia is getting these workouts to better her leg and her injury, and she's been doing well. She's getting the exercise in, so I'm glad to see that. Now, what I'm not glad to see is their conversation that they do after the workout with the personal trainer, because after that's done, they sit down to have a conversation, and Melissa, she starts off by saying, Antonia, I just feel like you've been depressed lately, like a lot. Like, I feel like you've just been depressed. Are you depressed? And then Antonia clearly tells her, no, Mama, I don't think so. No, I haven't really been depressed. What does Melissa do? Well, I just feel like you really have been depressed, though. Like, have you been depressed? I feel like you have been depressed. What does Antonia do? No, Mom, everything is fine. Like, I'm good. I'm just, it was a little stressful moving into the other school, but other than that, I'm okay. And then what does Melissa do? I just feel like you're depressed. Like, Melissa, cut it out. Stop. Relax. Like, she wanted her to say, I'm depressed so badly. And I get it because she's her mom. She's concerned. So I understand it. But if she's telling you she feels differently, then just believe her, because the more you question her, the more she's going to feel like, okay, obviously I can't open up to you because you're always going to be taking what I say and you're going to twist it into your own narrative in your own head. But Antonia just explains to her that she did feel a little stressed moving into a whole new school, as any typical teenager would, because again, you're moving your whole life to a whole different school. You don't know anybody. You're leaving all your friends, your memories, and your whole high school experience at this other school, and you're just supposed to pick up and start a whole new one. Of course, any teenager is gonna feel like Antonia felt. So Melissa, she makes it about herself again, and this is like, I can't even. I wanna tell Melissa, like, Melissa, you need to stop doing that, but I will be a hypocrite because I do the same thing as Melissa does, except I know when I'm doing it and I try to catch myself and I try to stop myself before I continue rambling, because Melissa, I don't think she notices. I don't think she's trying to do it on purpose. I just feel like she just doesn't notice. And Melissa, you need to notice. So call me and we'll try to get help on each other. But Melissa, she's just like, well, back in my day, I had it rough, and I know what it's like moving schools, and it wasn't easy for me. I had to fight off dinosaurs, snakes. I didn't even have a pencil to do my work with. I had to write with dirt. It was so hard. Yes, it was difficult. No, let me finish. It was just such a horrible life I lived. It was terrible. And I just don't want you to live the same way that I did when I went to my school. And I'm just like, and scene. Like, Melissa, this is not about you. This is about Antonia. And I'm glad that Antonia was just like, okay, Mom, yes, I understand what you're saying and I respect it. And Melissa was just like, really? Really? Do you want a hug? Like, I feel so bad for her. I'm like, aw. Jackie then goes to her therapist to update her on her promise that she made to her about eating ice cream with her children. And I'm thinking it's going to be a triumphant moment, even if it's a small moment. But according to Jackie, she felt bad about the entire ice cream situation. She felt like, oh, I already ate ice cream, so maybe I shouldn't eat anything for the rest of the day. Her therapist is telling her, no, you shouldn't do that. If anything, you should add more to your plate, even if it's just, again, little portions to it. And Jackie's just like, okay, yeah, but what should be the next thing I should eat? And then the therapist, she suggests, maybe it should be pizza. What about pizza? But then Jackie, you could tell she's getting a little flustered on inside and a little stressed. And the therapist quickly was just like, you know what? Never mind, because I see, the face expression and everything. So let's not do that. Maybe we could add like a croissant or something more, like little portions to what you already eat on a daily basis. So Jackie, she actually agrees to that. And Jackie, she also mentions that she doesn't feel comfortable talking about stuff like this to Evan. And again, I want to say, why not? Because that's your husband. But at the same time, this is her own issue that she's dealing with. So, I mean, yeah, in a marriage, you should be able to tell something like this to your husband or a wife or your significant other. But in this case, I could understand that, again, Jackie's just not going to be an open book right away about something like this when she's trying to recover. So if she wants to do it privately at first and then slowly over time as she recovers a little bit more, then maybe she wants to open up to Evan, then okay, so be it. Marge and her mom show up to the place where they're having their party at. And is this the same place from season 2 where Teresa was chasing Danielle all around? Is this the same country club or is this a different building? Because I'm not sure. If it is, I can see why Margaret didn't send the invitation out to Teresa, because Teresa, I don't know, she probably would have showed up and she probably would have had flashbacks. She probably would have been like, wait, hold on. Activate running mode. Time to chase Margaret all through the hall. Like, I can already see Margaret just running around the whole entire place like Danielle was with Teresa right behind her. So maybe that's why she didn't invite her, if that's the same place. And I'm wondering, I'm like, is Ashley around here too? So she could pull somebody's hair. But then we see Evan and Jackie. Jackie's getting ready. She's telling Evan that she's going to try to put more portions of food on her plate. And Evan is just like, you know what? I really don't care what way you're at. I'm going to love you regardless. So I'm glad that he's at least encouraging. I mean, maybe don't put it in those words, but maybe put it in softer words. But, she's understanding. And then we finally see Jen and Bill. And I've completely forgot about Jen at this point. I'm like, oh yeah, who is this woman? Oh yeah, that's Jen and her cheating ass husband. But they're there and he's telling her, oh yeah, I'm gonna go there to support you, and if you want me to make up with the guys, I'm gonna do that. It's fine. And then we head back over to Evan. Evan tells Jackie that he already got a text from Bill. He texted Bill saying, oh, hey man, or whatever, like, I'm sorry or whatever, let's cuddle. And then Bill had texted him back, just like the little emoji of like saying this, basically saying like they're okay. And I'm just like, Bill, you are too nice, because if I was you, I would have chose that emoji. I would have chosen the middle finger emoji to send right back at Evan. And then speaking of apologies, we head over to Melissa and Josephine's house, and I'm not sure who or what Josephine has been talking to that all of a sudden he thinks that people are supposed to be scared of him. I'm like, who are you again? Like, at this point, I'm convinced that Melissa, the reason why the audience thinks that she's lame or they don't like her or whatever is because of Josephine. Because on Ultimate Girls Trip, she is so cool. She was so cool. It was like a whole different person. I loved her friendship with Kenya, but I feel like on this show, I feel like people put her in a 2-for-1 special with Josephine, and they probably look at her as lame as an association because of Josephine. So all you have to do is just drop him, and then you'll be cool again, Melissa. You'll be hip. Don't you want that? But Josephine, he's just like, oh yeah, I want my apology, and I'm gonna teach him how to be a man. And I'm just like, who are you again? Like, who is supposed to be scared of you? Like, I mean, if Joe and Bill were to get into a physical fight, who do y'all think will win? I mean, Joe has the muscle, but Bill has the brain. So who do y'all think? But either way, Joe, he's just complaining and bitching throughout the entire house, telling Melissa that he wants this apology out of Bill. And I'm just like, apology for what? Why does Bill have to apologize to you? you. If anything, you should already see that Melissa and Jen, they kind of made up. So again, what is it to you? Why are you complaining about this? Like, he just wants this whole show to be wrapped around him so badly. And he's the type of person that will use the word emasculate in every single sentence, because he's just like, well, I'm going to teach Bill how to be a man tonight, and I'm going to give my apology as well. And I'm just like, Joe, please stop. Melissa, change his diaper, give him a baby bottle, and put him in the crib quickly. He keeps crying and complaining. Then we see what Teresa's up to at her house with her daughters, and it's nothing but a bunch of flashbacks. And I honestly was waiting for Bravo to use that one flashback of Joe Judas that they love putting every single episode, every single scene, every single season of him saying, oh, that's my bitch wife. But no, we didn't get that. We just got a bunch of sad flashbacks from previous seasons, and that was it. The party gets going and everybody starts arriving with their husbands, and everybody looked nice for the most part. I like Jennifer's outfit the most. I love the color. I liked how her and Bill were matching together, and I liked her shoes. And then Melissa, she shows up with Josephine, and she's like, oh, this is the place where we had our christening. And then they play the flashback. So I think I got two events mixed up when Teresa was running around for Danielle and then the christening, right? Is that correct? I could be wrong, but regardless, they're reckless. I know Margaret probably had insurance on this building. Like, y'all are not fucking up my bank account. But they're all arriving. They're all there. All the guys, they all huddled up together. They're all like, okay, Bill is going to show up soon. I mean, what's going to happen? I mean, and then Frank, surprisingly, Frank is the only one out of all the men who he actually has common sense, because he's just like, I don't think that Bill really necessarily owes an apology to Joe. So I'm not really sure what Joe is expecting. And Josephine is just walking around as if somebody's supposed to be scared of him. So Bill and Jennifer show up, and Jennifer, she goes with the other women. Bill, he goes to the bartender to try to get her phone number. To try to go get a drink. And then Joe, he's approaching him. He's just like, okay, let me go up to him. And he's just like, hey, Bill, what's going on? What's up, man? What's happening? And then Bill is just like, oh, hey, what's happening? It was kind of awkward. All the men were kind of surrounding them. And then basically they kind of squashed their issue without technically saying, I'm sorry. Josephine's excuse is, oh, I feel really, really, really hurt. And I'm just like, oh, you are such a little bitch boy. Like, what? He was just like, oh, I feel so hurt that your wife kicked me out of the house. I think it was so disrespectful. And I really wanted to be best friends with you. And I just think that wasn't nice. And I'm just like, Josephine, go cry about it in the bathroom. Like, hush. Like, like Joe is just, But Bill is just like, oh, well, I understand that and stuff. But, our wives, they're good now and I'm good with you. And I already apologized to Evan, or we already kind of like, mended everything together. So I think that me and you, we should kind of make up or whatever. And then Joe, I'm not sure it was Frank. Frank is just like, oh, okay, so everything is good now. Everything is fine. What, do you want a blowjob? And I'm just like, wait a minute, Frank, hold on. Does he though? Like, Joe could be annoying, but I want to watch. And Joe is just like, oh yeah, what, Bill is gonna kiss my ass now? And then they play the flashback of when Frank did it to Joe. And I'm just like, something about these men. But you know what? We'll leave it at that. Regardless, I would like to watch. But the women, they're over there talking. Mind you, Teresa's not invited at all, right? But Margaret, no, it was Dolores, I believe. She brings up Teresa, and she's like, oh, yeah, I talked to Teresa, and, I kind of wanted to go on vacation because Andy, he emailed me this morning. He said that we need a cast trip quickly because we only have like 2-3 more episodes of this season, so we need to get going. And I feel like I want to go to Nashville because that's where everyone's going nowadays. And I'm like, wait a minute, Dolores. And this is not even to be shady to anybody who's watching, who lives in Nashville or who's from Nashville, but who the fuck wants to go to Nashville? Like, who thinks like, oh, I want to go on vacation? You know what? Let's go to Nashville. Like, nobody thinks that. It's either Miami, Las Vegas, California, New York, or even outside of the country. But nobody, at least not that I know of, is heading to Nashville right away. Like, oh, I need to go to Nashville. There's just so many things to do. I could be wrong, but what do y'all think? Has anybody gone to Nashville? Maybe I could be wrong. Maybe it could be a fun place. But Nashville? Okay, Dolores, I'm not sure what friends are in your circle that you're hearing that from. But okay, so she says that, and then she's like, I invited Teresa, but she wants to go with Louis. She doesn't want to go without Louis. So I think they're going to invite all the husbands. And of course, Margaret's just like, well, of course, Teresa never wants to go anywhere without Louis. She can't do anything by herself. And then the whole comment, I think it was Tracy. Tracy jumps in and she's like, oh, well, I can't believe what she said about Margaret. So Margaret's just like, yeah, she made fun of my ass and she said that it jiggles or whatever. And then everybody was just like, oh my God, how dare she? You don't say. I'm flabbergasted. What? She said what? And I'm just like, why is everybody acting like this? Especially Jackie. I'm just like, now let's flash back. Let's have a whole flashback to episode 1. It was Tracy, Melissa, Jackie, and Margaret. All of you were in like a little huddle talking about Jennifer's nose when she arrived at the party at Teresa's house. Is that not also body shaming? That's part of her body, right? It's part of her face. So, I mean, isn't that what you guys were doing as well? So now all of a sudden what Teresa says is body shaming. But it's okay for all of you to make fun of Jennifer's nose 10 episodes ago. But okay. The party continues and everybody lines up at the buffet to get food. And Jackie, she's overwhelmed by it. And she's like, oh, this is a lot of options. But she still manages to get a lot of food on the plate just so people could see that, oh, she's trying. And she's going to obviously eat the food. Not all of it, but at least she's going to try. So again, I appreciate that she looks at Jennifer, who's just eating whatever. And she's like, I want to be like that. I want to be able to eat whatever I want and not really care about anything. So that moment was touching. But other than that, this whole party was just kind of lame. I don't know. It was kind of boring and dry. I mean, how do you fuck up a party? Like the whole party was just like, okay, like nothing fun is really going on. I mean, the guy, he sang happy birthday, or at least tried, because as he was singing happy birthday, he was just
Happy birthday to you, Star Spangled to you. Happy birthday.
yeah, happy birthday. I'm like, what? We could have cut that whole scene out, but the whole party was just so dry. There was no funny moments. There was just nothing really going on. I mean, Margaret made her toast to her mom, and that was cute. That was lovely. I could have sworn she taught. Didn't she like write a whole book or say a bunch of bad things about her mom, and now she's like taking it back, and she's like, oh no, like my mom is the greatest thing on earth. Unless I got that mixed up, but. You know, that was a cute little toast. It was nice to see a softer side to Margaret. I do give her that. Just like Jennifer says. Jennifer's just like, you know what? I really do think that me and Margaret, we have a lot of things in common. And I'm like, no, Jennifer, let's not put ourselves in that box as well. Like, you are pushing this whole friendship with you and Margaret too much, and it's probably gonna backfire on you in the long run. I mean, I'm hoping it doesn't, but I don't know. You're just saying a little bit too much, but other than that, the party, again, nothing really happened. Oh, there was dancing, and Margaret's mom, she got down with everybody. I mean, she was being passed around throughout the whole husbands. I'm like, wow, lady, like, you're really trying to get Eiffel Towers. Like, she was dancing with Frank. She was dancing with Josephine. I think she was dancing with Bill, too. Bill picked her up, I believe. And I'm like, Bill, put that woman down before you end up in another affair. Put her down. Put her down. Jennifer is watching. Stop it. I don't care if it's Margaret's mom. It's too soon. It's too soon. But other than that, that was the episode, and that was Margaret's mom's birthday party. And that was the episode, y'all. What did y'all think about this episode? I mean, honestly, this whole episode could have been sent through a text message. Like, honestly, a text message, an email, something. I mean, it could have been a screenshot. I wouldn't have minded if the whole episode was just a bunch of flashbacks from season 2 and that was it. Like, we could have just gotten the christening flashbacks, because this episode was just a little bit dry. And something in me is telling me, you smell that? Because I smell a to be continued for next week's episode. I know that the whole plate throwing and drink throwing that Teresa's gonna do to Margaret, I know that is going to be the last, 2 minutes of the episode. I'll be shocked if it's not, but I feel like that's the way it's going to play out. But side note, did y'all see, I mean, from the last time that I made a video to this moment, we already got in the Real Housewives of Atlanta trailer. We got the Real Housewives of Dubai promo, which was so good, and the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills trailer that dropped today. What is everybody's opinion on that? I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I did suggest a couple of videos ago that what should I review for April, but you know what? Fuck that. I'm just not going to review anything for April besides the Housewives of New Jersey, because obviously those 3 heavy hitters are coming my way, so I'm just going to review them next month, and I'm just going to keep April like kind of open, just because it's just like, okay, let me just like relax a little bit. You know, before the 3 shows come out all at once, back to back to back. So I'm excited for that. The Atlanta trailer, it looked good. It looked interesting. Apollo. What is Apollo doing? Why is he on the show? But I'm excited to see what the cast brings and like how the dynamic is without, you know, Portia, Nene. I'm excited to see Dubai too. That I'm very curious to see how that's going to play out. I mean, it looks like they're going to have a lot of money on that show, and all the wives look beautiful. Somebody is on that show. I think her name is Caroline Stanberry or something like that. Everybody's crazy about her. I don't know who she is. Apparently she was on a show called The Ladies of London on Bravo. I remember the show. I don't know who she is. I do know one of the cast members though, Milan. She was on College Hill, South Beach many, many years ago. I remember watching her on that show like 10, I don't know how many years ago, but she's on the show now, so I'm excited to see what that's about. Beverly Hills looks exciting. Kathy, I mean, I want to say I'm surprised at this takedown, but I'm not surprised. I mean, her takedown should have happened last season when she said that she didn't see color, but that's a whole different subject. But regardless, I'm going to be reviewing all three of those shows. Either way, let me know what you thought about this episode and what you thought about all three of the trailers to Atlanta, Dubai, and Beverly Hills in general. Let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye, y'all. Mwah.